ESO Daily. I am your host, Mystic Raven. Been going about a week with some Gamer's Thumb. It's not 100%, but I'm about 75%. So everything's looking pretty good. This will be kind of my first day going back. I did, finish this build last night and gave it a quick test run on a trial, and it worked out pretty nice. I know I shouldn't have tested it on a trial, but it was kind of funny because somebody had asked me, Mystic, what about spell power cure for Nightblades? And I've always steered away from spell power cure with the Nightblade Healer, because the reason being, you have your siphons scale. Their heals scale off of damage, and spell power cure will give you the buff, but what ends up happening is you lose the crit, and that significantly reduces, in the past, your siphoning heals. So I've kind of always steered away from that with the Nightblade. However, I've made a couple of calculations, a couple of adjustments, and for One Tamriel, it surprisingly has been implemented in my build. So today I'm going to show you a reformat of the Nightblade Healer. And for all the Nightblade Healers out there, I think you're really going to love this build and what it's going to do. Not a lot of changes, but still what we've done is pretty amazing. So let me get into it. First thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and get on the character sheet here. My buff's not up, so go figure. Alright, so let's get into the character sheet. My max magicka is sitting at 42,017. My magicka recovery is at 1,194 on staff side, and my max health on staff side is 19,510. I always try to stay up around the 20k, the reason being I don't want to die to a mechanic. Now on this side, spell crit is at 48.2. Now I want you to keep that number in mind, especially when I go over your options. As you can see off to the left, magicka is at 58 points allocated, and health is at 6. And of course, the Mundus we're running is the Apprentice. If you're wondering about food, we're using max health and max magicka. So that's pretty much what we have for our stat sheet on the staff bar. On the back bar, you'll see a slight change here when it comes to the health. It'll go up from 19,500 to 20,052. And as you take a look at the spell crit, it's went from 48 to 51.7. I will explain why, but as you look at the magical recovery, it has dropped down to 1,086. But that's okay, because as most of you guys know who play Nightblade Healers or haven't, I will explain this. What ends up happening when we go to the back bar, it's our secondary rotation. So we use that as a damage, and we lay primarily with our heals, and we go ahead and weave consistently on the staff side, and that will continuously help our regen rate. So on the sword side, we don't need it as high, even though it's only 100 and something points. But once again, we are using siphoning attacks, and that will help us recap our resources. But I'll go ahead and get into this as far as the gear and the build goes. Now, when it comes down to the gear, we are using a double stack, 2 5-piece stack, what I like to call double stack, of Juliana's and spell power cure. Okay? So there you guys have it. Now, for anybody who's not aware of spell power cure, and most of you guys are, but for any players that are new, sorry about that. I am getting a weird call, and I'll just go ahead and not accept that for a minute. For the spell power cure, we're at 933 max magicka, 933 max magicka, 124 spell damage. When you heal a friendly target that is 100% health, you have a 50% chance to increase their weapon damage and spell damage for 249 for 10 seconds. Now, as most of you guys are aware, this buff will also be applied to you as well. And when that's what's really usually great about spell power cure, it does apply to you as well as your other teammates. Julianos, it goes without saying, especially for the Nightblade Healer, because what this does for you is it adds 299 spell damage, and it gives you the crit plus another max magicka. When it comes to what we also did here, so the swords, we'll go piece by piece. The sword, initial sword, we went Nirnholm. Why? Why not Sharpen? The reason being, if you're using Sharpen, okay, if you're using Sharpen for a healer, that's probably one of your biggest mistakes, because it doesn't apply to secondary effects. It applies to damaging effects, not your secondary effects, which are your heals, or if you're a healer, it should be your primary effect. So Nirnholm actually outperforms, very minute, but still outperforms powered. Now, if you're using drop sets, you would want to use the powered trait on a healer, not Sharpen. Please, for God's sakes, please do not use Sharpen as a healer, because your primary concern is healing, not damaging. So keep that in mind, that you're pretty much wanting to heal. Yes, I'm going to lose some DPS if I don't have enough penetration in my build, but keep in mind the secondary effect, or the healing, or your primary effect will actually go higher, and that's what our concern is as a healer. So the trait on this is Nirnholm. Of course, we also have the glyph of the increased damage. On the secondary, we also have another Sword of Julianos, except this one's precise. The reason we're going to go precise on that is simple. We want to use that so we can keep our crit above 50%. Now, keep in mind, when other players use other abilities or passives that will increase your spell crit, it'll hit over that 55.5, and that's where we want to kind of be. But even if you're in a 4-man, 51.7 is not bad, because once again, we want to keep our heals consistent. So, and going down, now we also have a Restoration Staff of Julianos. Now, the reason I wanted you guys to keep, watch the crit is very important, because at the moment I have it in Nirnholm. Why? Because I want the extra spell power, so it increases my heals. But if you wanted to, and you wanted to keep over that 51 on the staff side as well, you could substitute the trait for Precise. That's an option. That is completely up to you if you want to stay over that 50%, or if you just want to increase the base heal. If you want to increase the base heal, go with the Nirnholm. If you want to increase the crit, go with the Precise. Okay, Mulakina's Head, Light Infused. Once again, I always try to keep my big pieces infused. Why? Because it gives me a max magic of 1041 versus 800 and something with Divine. Okay, so if anybody is always asking why not all Divine, because you're losing almost, it's like 900 and something max magicka for going all Divine. And when you're talking about sustain, that's relevant. So all my big pieces are usually infused. Every once in a while, I will go with the Divine. But typically, that's what I want to do. The reason we went with Mulakina, simple, it's going to give us the 129 spell damage. That's going to increase our healing. Okay, Heavy Chest of Julianos. Why the Heavy Chest? Once again, it's going to give us the higher armor rating. And of course, the Infused, it's going to give us more max magicka. Now on this one, this is pretty interesting here. For the shoulders, I went with the Choke Thorns Epilot. And it's, of course, Divine, because it's a smaller piece, glyphed with max health. Now, the reason I went with the Epilot, because I'm not running a regen set, so I need an extra recovery. This piece is going to give me 129 magical recovery. You need sustainability in your build. So this really helps out, because instead of using a monster set, I'm using 2 individual monster pieces to maximize my potential and to maintain my resources. Going down, of course, we have the Spell Power Cure and Divines. That one is max magicka. We have the Medium Hand Bracers of Julianos. And once again, that is Divine, max health. Spell Power Cure Breachers in Divine. Notice it's purple. The reason being, I actually using this from another character, and of course, ESO hates me and has not dropped an infused legs for me. I hate drop rates in this game, I swear to God. Shoes of Julianos, light, glyphed health, divine. And of course, the jewelry is all purple and all glyphed with the spell damage of 174. Now, when we're talking about our skills, nothing has changed. So if you're familiar with the Nightblade Healer, nothing's going to change as far as your skill rotation. So that's kind of a nice thing. When you go ahead with this setup, you're not going to have to make any changes to your skill if you're familiar with it. Now, for those who aren't, let me go ahead and get into this. On our front bar, we're going to go ahead with Healing Ward. The reason being, Healing Ward I use pretty much on all. I use this first 3 in a lot of my builds. I will switch out Healing Springs or Healing Ward depending on the circumstances. But on a standard 4, I always like Healing Ward, and the reason being the ward strength is increased up to 300% depending on the severity of the target's wounds. When the ward expires, the target is healed for 124% of the ward's remaining strength, and of course it gives a damage shield of 3,379. And absorbs up to 6,954. To me, this is a lifesaver, especially if you're in Imperial Prison and you're facing the ward and he does the bombardment. This is going to save people's asses if they forget to block. Trust me, it happens quite often. But this mitigating effect actually works better on the DK healer, but pretty much I still use it for an oh shit button, even for my other teammates. Healing Springs, without any question, we are already aware that it's a hot and it's going to actually help me retain my resources with the people that's in the vicinity. So I usually use Healing Springs, though I will switch, if I'm in Sanctum Ophidian, I will switch out Healing Springs usually for Mutagen or something so I can get the cleanse. Combat Prayer, I never go without this. It gives a heal for 6,723, and it also applies a buff. So to me, it's always going to be needed, so it stays on there. Siphoning attacks, this is where I'm going to have a lot of recovery. So when I use this, I use any abilities or light or heavy attacks, I'm going to go ahead and have a chance to restore 1,900 magic and stamina for 15 seconds. Now, as you guys can see, any direct damage has a 10% chance of an additional 2,181. Now, it's kind of important to remember, when we go down into siphoning and we go into Soul Siphoner, increases the effectiveness of your healing done by 3% for each siphoning ability slotted. Now, by having this on here, right, it's giving me 3% increased healing to all of my healing effects, right? Now, Reviving Barrier, of course, Inner Light, the reason we have Inner Light on is the Max Magicka and the Spell Crit. Reviving Barrier is great because for this passive, and this is another one, even if I don't use Reviving Barrier, say you're not going to even use it, the reason you want Reviving Barrier as a healer is Magical Aid. Increases magical recovery for 10% for each support ability slotted. So when you have Reviving Barrier slotted, it's giving you additional 10% towards your recovery. That's kind of a big deal here as a healer. You want recovery. You want to be able to go ahead and maintain resources. So even if you don't use Reviving Barrier and you're always blowing the war horn, you might want to consider having Reviving Barrier just for the simple fact of recovery if you're needing it. If you're not needing recovery, you can opt for other ultimates. So keep that in mind. On the back bar, we're going to go ahead and see Sap Essence. This is a very big deal for the Nightblade Healer. A lot of people don't like the Nightblade Healer because it has to be in close vicinity for this buff to typically apply. But for me, I like the Nightblade Healer because it's very action-paced. It's up in people's faces. And even in the mobs. To me, this is why it works. Siphoning Vigor is going to go ahead and deal 5,739 magic damage to all nearby enemies, and healing you and your allies for 2,324, plus 20% more for each enemy hit. So when you have a concentration of adds and they get hit, that's where the Nightblade shines. Because you don't have to be scared about a bunch of adds being there. Once you keep popping them with that, your healing scales for each mob. For each enemy in there, your healing's going to increase. What also it's going to go ahead and do is give you and your teammates major brutality and major sorcery, increasing the weapon and spell damage by 20% for 20 seconds. It's not a one-time like Empowering usually gives you a one-time hit, or major brutality will give you a one-time hit. Like towards the mage guild, you get a one-time hit, boom, it's done. This is going to give you 20 seconds flat. So to me, this is why another reason I love the Nightblade Healer. People are like, well, Nightblades don't have a lot of utilities. No, but what they offer a team is a substantial amount of buffs. And to me, that's worth it every day of the week. And then, of course, we have Funnel Health. Funnel Health is pretty much our primary hot for the Nightblade, because it deals 8,611 magic damage and heals you and one other nearby ally for 30% of the damage inflicted every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. So once again, that is a hot. Refreshing Path, now they increased the tick on this, I think, with the next update coming up. I forget, I have to look at the patch notes, but regardless, it deals 1,298 magic damage every second for 11.5 seconds. Now, while you're on the path, or 2 seconds after leaving it, it's going to heal you and your allies for 1,485 health every second. So once again, that's another hot. It also increases movement speed. It doesn't really matter for the movement speed, but if I'm in a tight vicinity, I'll throw the Refreshing Path, or I'll get behind my teammates and I'll throw the Refreshing Path, and it works. And it also can proc Spell Power Cure. Mystical Orbs is our utility. Once again, we go ahead, we're going to throw this. Anybody who hits it within the vicinity, it's going to explode, dealing out 9,559 magic damage and restores 4,201 magic instantly and 1% over 10 seconds to nearby allies. So once again, I really like this as a utility, especially for your Magicka DPS. Inner Light, once again, on the back bar, and of course we have the Aggressive Warhorn. So for anybody, healers, we're aware that we're going to use Aggressive Warhorn, especially in trials. It's just the way it is. So like I said, if you don't use Reviving Barrier, make sure you guys are grabbing up that Aggressive Warhorn. Okay, so let's get into the champion points here. Oh, and real quick here, I am a vampire. Now, I am a Dunmer. Now, if you want to go Nightblade Healer, let's talk about races for a second. Argonian is a really good selection for the Nightblade Healer. I'm never going to actually argue that. So if you're going to go any type of healer, Argonian is a really good selection, but Breton still is up there. But that's one I would actually put above the Argonian for the Nightblade. Why? Because if you take a look at the Nightblade abilities, they're dealing magic damage, right? Bretons are actually getting a boost to their magic damage. Okay, so, if somebody's going to say, I would say Breton should be my first selection, typically on a Nightblade Healer, Argonian second, and of course I'm a Dunmer. Dunmer's third. So that's how I would order it, but once again, those are preferences. That's, up to you. So that's how I kind of would put it. And the reason that I prefer the Dunmer is because I'm a vampire. And the reason I completely go with the vampire is supernatural recovery. And I'm always going to stay at stage 4 with this, because while you have vampire stage 2 or higher, increase your magicka and stamina recovery by 10%. Once again, sustainability is very important. A lot of people are like, well, aren't you scared of fire damage or whatever? Well, no, because when I go ahead and take a look into the Dark Elf skills, I'm getting a flame resistance by 2,079, and then I'll allocate the difference into my champion points, which I'm about to get into. So let's go over here and look at the champion points. Okay, so we're going to start off, obviously, with Blessed, because we are a healer. Now, keep in mind, guys, that the Nightblade Healer, unlike any other healer, has to deal damage to heal. The more you damage with Siphons, the more it heals for. Okay? But once again, you are a healer. You're using Restoration Staff abilities, so you don't want to ignore your healing points into your champion system. So we went 48 points, 15% into Blessed. Since we are Nightblade and we are using a high-end crit, we keep Elfborn up to 11%, and Elemental Expert is at 16% because we are dealing damage to heal. So we need that up there. Now, typically, if you were any other healing class, you wouldn't need as much into Elemental Expert. You would want to go ahead and put more into the Blast. Spell Erosion, because once again, we are dealing damage. We are getting 4,884 for our passive in the Light Armor for penetration. So this is giving us the initial 6,000 penetration. Okay, and of course, I really like this, and I don't think a lot of people cover this, is Arcane Well. Once again, if you kill any enemy, it's going to restore 4,201 Magicka up to 3 allies within a 2.5 meter range. So Arcane Well for the Nightblade Healer works out really good. And of course, we have our Spell Precision, which increases our spell critical rating by 12%. Over here, we have Staff Expert, that's at 5%. The reason being, we're going to do Weaves. And Weaves damage, when you damage with a staff, it heals up to 30% of the damage to your teammates. So to me, that's a very, very much essential that you need a couple points into Staff Expert if you're going to weave with the staff. And if you're a healer, you should have a Resto staff. I don't care if you're a Templar or not. In my opinion, you should have Resto staff. At least 1 or 2 abilities. Trust me, guys, it makes a world of a difference, especially with those passives. And I'll go ahead and get into this after this. Okay, 10 points into Precise Strike, 5%. Reason being, we are dealing damage with a staff. So if we crit, we want to go ahead and capitalize on that crit with the weapon damage, with the staff damage. Ironclad is at 15, 6.5. Reduces the stun, fears, and derated effects. So that, to me, that's a very much a necessity. Hardy is at 60 at 17.5. We just want to reduce as much damage as possible, but keep in mind Elemental Defender's at 21%. You'll still end up taking more fire damage because all you're trying to do is negate it, but as a healer, you don't have as much of oh shit as a DPS because you have those sustains. Bastion is at 10%. Reason being, we are using a healing ward, and when we throw up the healing ward, the 10% is actually being carried over and helping whoever it's shielding. Quick recovery is at 3.2. To me, it's just a little like, oh, I'm healing myself, so I'm going to capitalize off that. Magician, we want to reduce a lot of our costs because, once again, sustainability is very important. So we're at 12%. When we take a look at the Arcanist, we're up at 22.3 with Tenacity at 4.5. Now, keep in mind, if you are going to go Vampire, you should put a couple points into Healthy. Mine's at 10%, but if you decide not to go Vampire, you can reallocate a couple into the Arcanist, Tenacity, or back into your Magician. Okay, and Tumbling I just have at 1, and that's pretty much how we've allocated the champion points. Now, once I go back into the skills here, I really want to just show you guys the Restoration Staff passives really quick, since we touched up on it. The Restoration Staff, Essence Drain is a must for the Nightblade Healer, okay? Because the reason being, that's the only way you're going to get Major Mending. So throughout your rotation, you want to keep weaving with heavy attacks so you can get your Major Mending. If anybody tells you Templars are better healers because they have Major Mending, they're fucking idiots. Every healing class can get Major Mending just from this passive alone. But even DKs have Major Mending in their class-based abilities. So once again, if anybody tells you Templars are better healers because of Major Mending, obviously they've never played a healer or only played Templar healers. And this is the big one here. Right. Increase healing with, Major Mending. So the big deal here is when you do a heavy attack, increase your healing done by 25%. Also, keep in mind that 36% of the damage inflicted by the final hit also heals nearby allies. So that's really the reason why we put in a couple points into the Staff Expert. Okay, so a lot of people are asking, why do you put points in Staff Expert? That's the reason, because of Essence Drain. Okay. So, by the way, and I do want to cover this, Force Siphon. I've used Force Siphon a couple of times, but the reason I don't prefer Force Siphon is because they actually have to go ahead. It's more of a drain on, you know, like keeping the weaves up. Not to say it isn't good, but for my builds, I don't ever hardly use it. So if you want to use Force Siphon, you probably can. You can kind of put that anywhere within your front bar. But for me personally, it's just something I've never gotten into. And once again, I've covered this. Mutagen, if depending on my circumstance, I'll either take, you know, Healing Springs or Ward Off and slot Mutagen. Okay? Now, obviously, we all know what's up next. I'm going to see what the dailies are, and we're going to run a vet just to show the functionality of the build. I don't know what it is. And like I said, this is like my first day back, guys. So bear with me on this. Yep. Well, if it loads. Come on. Oh, by the way, guys, you know, PS4 players and Xbox players, do not ever complain about lag or crashes. I swear to God, I love Tempest Island. Oh, God. Oh, I swear. They're making my life great. I wonder if it's Darkshade 1. Darkshade 2. Okay. And Tempest Island. Oh, boy. I really like to bite them off today. So, okay. Tempest is not too bad until you get to the last boss, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because if you're on the PC, I love the graphics on the PC. I'm not going to say I don't. I love the graphics. Sometimes it feels like a whole different game just because the shading is different. Not to say that the PS4 and Xbox is bad. I think they do really good no matter what. Performance basically depends on your rig on PC. So my computer's a little old, but it's not too bad. But at the same time, just drops. Like, we were doing a dungeon one time, and all of a sudden, right in the middle of the dungeon, I crashed. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, was I the only one to crash? So I logged back in, and here to find out the entire team crashed. And it happens quite more frequently than you would anticipate. So if you're on the PS4 or you're on the Xbox, you know, I wouldn't complain too much. You know, but the one thing I do like about the PC, and I will say this, is the some of the convenient mods. I haven't done a parser yet. I'm still trying to get my champion points up there because I'm a noob on PC. You know, I'm kind of, you know, new to it. Not new to the game, but I just don't. I'm still building. It's a building process for me. But yeah. It's just kind of, it is what it is. I swear. Sometimes I teleport just to see if the queue will... You know, it is early. Typically, I get really good queues in the morning. So... We'll see if I can do this. Or if the game will let me do it, I should say. Alright, now here's the one thing I want to show you guys. Refreshing path. Right there. Okay. So anytime you use refreshing path, it has a chance to, it will still proc spell power cure. Right? All of your heals have a chance, but refreshing path was the biggest one for me. Because I could just cast this, and anything within the path has a chance of grabbing spell power cure. So when you're laying down hots, it's kind of a nice thing for the Nightblade, because Nightblade hots are pretty effective as is, but when you keep, you know, all of these effects lined up, spell power cure just usually will just reapply. It'll drop and reapply, drop and reapply. And that was kind of the one impressive impressive things that I noticed when I tried this setup. Now, I do have spell, as you guys know, I have spell power cure. I use it on 2 other builds. For the Nightblade, though, it seemed to be a little bit more consistent for the application. So to me, that was like, great, okay, cool. This is actually applying more consistently to my party members. And to me, that was a big noticeable plus. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. I want to keep doing the heavy attack because I want to show you guys the major mending. Okay. Of course it dropped. Let me see if I can just do it this way. Can never find stuff to kill. Or why can't I just find one thing? Alright. So there it is. Major mending. You saw it. Now, as you guys can see, the more you have around you when you're hitting with that sap essence, the more it's benefiting your party members. I don't know why I'm not getting a Q. This is driving me kind of nuts. Let me try to leave Q. This is definitely not typical. Well, let me try it this way. Try to do a random bet. Ah, there we go. And it's Darkshade Caverns. Worked out perfect. Sometimes I think the Q just gets... Oh. Do not need to be in voice chat. But as I was saying, I think the queue actually gets stuck from time to time. Like the system's like, oh wait, you were queued? Yeah, I was queued. 198, 561 right there. Oh no, oh no, no. 198 in plate. Yeah, no, dude. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. He's magic ability. It could just be the heavy chest, but those gloves look heavy. Actually, I know this is mean, guys. I know it is. Yeah. I'm doing a vet. I'm not dealing with... I'm sorry, guys. Plate to me still is questionable. You know, I understand it deals out some more damage, but I don't want to be here all day. Let's see what we got. 472. I'm happy with the... I don't care about the CR, just I don't want to see plate. Oh my god. Alright. 168. Yeah, see? I didn't even initiate that one. It kind of brings up the question, and I think a lot of times we were debating whether or not ZOS should implement suggested CRs. Not to say required. I'm not saying required. So I'm going to put that out specifically. I'm saying suggested CRs for certain vet dungeons. So let's say you go in ICP, right? What should the suggested CR be for that? Because you got somebody walking in with 100 champion rating. Is that practical? I mean, come on now. I mean, you're going to get carried for sure. So at that point, I completely, like, I don't know, man. And to me, I think they should do it. I just got ran over. We just cannot keep DPS for nothing. Oh my god. Let's see what we got here. 228. I don't... Well, that's the leader now. They're gonna vote him. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. Not my fault. I started a domino effect. It's like kick, 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 kick. Oh, this poor dude actually came in here. He deserves to get kicked. We're an all plate. Bye. See ya. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if, you know, it seems like, oh, what are you, against plate DPS? Yeah, I am. Oh, what the fuck is this dude? He's double queued? Is that even right? I'm just gonna kick I should just kick this dude on principle. Because you know he's not dedicated. If you're double queued, you know you're not dedicated. And I hate that. Actually, yeah, I'm going to kick you, dude. You can't... Fuck that. You're getting kicked just for the fucking principle of it. Do not fucking double queue, people. Do not double queue. You deserve to get kicked if you double queued. You deserve it. Okay? Plain and simple. You double queue, you deserve to get kicked. Don't do that shit. All that's telling the team is you're not dedicated in your build. You are not dedicated. And when it comes to vet runs, people prefer dedicated roles. If you're double queued, you're just saying, oh, I'm not dedicated. I can play every role. Not efficiently, motherfucker. Not efficiently. So, yeah, you deserve to get kicked. Okay, I can roll with this. This is not a biggie. I can roll. Come on. I didn't know this was going to take so long. Jesus. Guys, I can't see your comment. Looking for something. I don't... Sure, whatever. All right. Oh. No! No! Are you fucking kidding? What is with the fucking... Talk about fucking retards with meta. Shut the... Oh, fuck. I don't give a shit. At this point, I don't fucking care. This dude's DPS sucks. He's gone. I swear to God. Oh yeah, we want to be this DPS meta. Shut the fuck up.
Here to help.
Alright. As you guys see, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be weaving quite a bit within my rotation. Okay, this is kind of where I want to go with the barrier on this one. Especially with those AoE effects, keeping the DPS up there quite a bit. About halfway down. That's okay, DPS. I'll get these guys. Alright. Took a little longer than I anticipated. I mean, I'm getting ran over today bad. Now see, here's the deal. This is exactly why I kind of have something down with the plate. The plate, it's kind of scale. It takes a minute to the DPS to build up. Let's say you're even wearing, you know, a decent setup for plate. The DPS is a building process, right, guys? If me and my dudes were in here, if I was in a pre-made, then we already smoked all these ads. Okay, and this is kind of the concern for me when everybody wants to talk about the meta. There are some practical applications for PvP, and I'm not saying there isn't, but when we're talking about maximizing DPS and you want a good burst build, plate's not going to give you that. I'm sorry, man. And Zoss, if you really want to fix that, you can. I mean, I would probably do something different, but it just doesn't have the burst that the medium has from the initial rip. So I'm gonna point that out, guys. And you may like it, you may not, but it's a fact. And so when everybody talks about the new meta, I'm sorry, guys. Meta to me is not shit. I've always proven meta don't matter for shit. I roll with builds that people don't think are viable. I'm not saying that plate DPS isn't viable. I just don't think it's as efficient when it comes to the burst. It's a building process. It's a little too slow. And I think if you want to make plate DPS a little bit more, you know, efficient, you need to get rid of that scaling shit. Because look, take away the crit. I mean, come on, Zoss. I mean, why scale it like that? Why, you know, just give it a good base damage. You know, don't have to give it the crit necessarily. I mean, you can roll with, like, you know, different crit sets that are crafted. So if you want to go with Night Mothers and like Drow King, okay, so be it. Okay, I can see that. You know, no problem there. You can pick up your crit somewhere else. You know, but come on, man. Stop with the scaling. If you want to make plate DPS a little bit more, you know, a little bit more oomph to it, just get rid of that. You know, give it a little bit more viability, Zoss. Come on. People are going to say, oh, it's the new meta. No, motherfuckers. No. Try to parse the difference. I don't even run a parser, and I'll tell you, there's no way it's going to parse up with the medium. It's just not going to happen. Now remember, guys, especially healers, anytime you see a synergy, it's very, very important to hit that synergy. It's going to recap your magicka, stamina, and health. And even though you might not need healed, that extra magicka recovery is kind of important. I will tell you guys, PC players do have a nice advantage with their buff indicators. I felt that's the first thing I downloaded and I fell in love with. Just having it on my screen when my buffs were up and when they were dropping. I really honestly think, you know, every platform should have buff indicators. Okay, going with the Warhorn again. Honestly, guys, I think that's 2 Warhorns, and this dude is still, I mean, we're in an execute range, and he's still up. Probably because one reason this guy is in werewolf form. Oh no, I hate this part. They drugged me. Ugh. I was roofied by these things.
I know. I'm the one who sent for you. Did me a whole lot. About time someone showed up. Have we met? Yeah. You're the one who
Man, that thing got a range on it. Wow. Once again, pug life, y'all. It's pug life. Now, if anybody's ever played any other MMOs, when we're talking about animation cancellation, anytime you're using a weapon between your rotation, especially like using a light attack and then going straight into an ability without the animation fully proccing, that is an animation cancellation. But I want to introduce you guys to something if you're not aware, and it's called clipping. Okay, so for a lot of seasoned MMOers, they know the difference between animation cancellation and clipping. Clipping is using an ability sequentially after another, and what it does is still does the animation cancellation, but it has nothing to do with a weapon effect. So, you know, basically anytime I'm going through my rotation and I'm just procking my rotation without showing, see the hand in it proc, the orb, that's a clip. That's what we call clipping. It's not called animation cancellation because I'm using one ability after another. Yes, it cancels the animation, but it has nothing to do with the weapon or, weave or canceling any effect between a weave and ability slot. So that's an animation cancellation known, but anytime you use an ability one after another to cancel out, that's not called animation cancellation, that's called a clip. Alright. I'm skeptical about doing this boss. They have to drop them all at the same time. That's where DPS usually will screw up. I guarantee you. Even the tank's questionable. Tank, you can see the tank's like, oh shit. DPS screws this up, you know it was the DPS. Nobody else can be blamed on this. This is where you're just AoE. Don't single target shit. If you do, rotate as much as possible. See, that one is getting down a little lower than the other ones. I want to try to keep them even as possible. So if any of you guys ever had problems with this and wonder like, why the fuck are these things not dying? They're like, keep resin. It's because you got to put them down all together. Doing really good. Actually, as I'm looking at this, I'm pretty impressed. Up, that one's starting to drop a little bit. Let's see if we can get this one down a little bit more. One time I was doing this thing for like 5 minutes because the DPS just couldn't get the concept down. And it sucks so bad. Nice. That's what I like. testimony right here. How good is their AoEs? They suck, we'll find out. Sorry, wrong button. Alright. Go, tank, go. Come on. Oh my god. Now watch, they'll probably just like start attacking with the shield up. I'll weave, you know. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Now on this boss fight, guys, healers, you really want to keep the Warhorn in the off until the drop happens. Okay, yep, there it is. Okay. There's those netchlings. I mean, they kind of remind me of like some weird parasite that could be floating in your head like lice or something. They're just gross. Nichlings. Like, what the hell? Like, ooh, keep them off me, man. Don't get that shit near me. I don't care if I am bald. I still don't want them near me. Okay, it's down. If anybody thinks this DPS is a little slow, please leave a comment. I shouldn't be such an elitist. I'm such an asshole, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, shit. Remember, guys, I'm dealing damage, too. That's what's even scarier. And I'm not a DPS. I'm a healer. Have I ever mentioned layering AoEs, guys? I don't know if I have in my other videos. I don't know. I don't know. Oh no, not the field. Oh yeah, Mystic's on it. Get the f off me. Yeah, Plate is awesome. They're so awesome DPS. The DPS from Plate just kicks so much ass. More like suck ass. This is not Skyrim, people. Get over it. Uh-oh. No, I don't think so. Not today, you nasty nichlings. Wow. Did I ever tell you a good healer can carry a team? They just can. They can carry some shit. Well. Oh, you fucking dudes offline. Yeah, I don't blame ya. Oh, God. Go, Mr. Go, go. Oh, it's down. Get it, get it, get it. I don't know, man. I'm trying. Oh, shit. That tank is beast though. I've given it up to this fucking tank for real. This tank, man, he'll pull everything and still keep resin. You go, tank. I need that potion bad. So I could do this shit. Got the war back on him. Oh, dude's back on. Oh shit. At this point, I'm just trying to keep people up. This will probably be like one of my longest boss fights to date. Ah! Kill that son of a bitch! No, they're in my way. Son of a bitch! Welcome back, dude. Not like we missed ya. Yes, kill it. Woo! And that is how you heal, boys and girls. 101. Don't ever say it. Don't ever get caught saying it. What? My thoughts exactly, Eli. My thoughts exactly. Elite assassin. This dude is a werewolf fetish. It's okay. I'm with you. All of you. It was intense. Yeah, it was definitely intense. Try healing it. Knowing you're giving people spell power cure buffs too. So sad. So sad. What are you guys doing? There's a boss over here. Dumbasses. Don't ever say I wasn't nice, people. I could have just kicked that dude when he, like, dropped. But I kept him. I had no faith, really. At this point, might as well just, like, carry people. It's okay. Isn't that a boss? I thought that's what, it might have been one. It probably is one. Oh, well. It's all fucking dead. Oh, I love this. This is another AoE fight. This game, this dungeon has a lot of AoEs. So if you guys don't know how to layer your AoEs, you guys should check my video on how to increase AoE damage. It's highly recommended. If you can't AoE and you have one AoE. Yeah, I don't care about chat. Get over here and stack this bitch. Wherever you are going, I'm going as well. Oh my gosh. Just pull. Come on. You can do it. Yeah, go figure. The dude with the plate is just spamming the same AoE. I'm not surprised. And this person doesn't know how to stay stacked. I don't think so. This tank is pretty good though, guys. I like the tank. I hate this stupid thing on me. Come on. Oh, I think so. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah, Mystic pulls it off again. Where are these guys' life at? Yes! 48,000 take! Dude, you fucking rule! I hope everybody who hates high health tanks is watching this shit. 48,000, you rule, dude! You fucking rule! That dude's 12K. That dude's 17. Yeah. I'm not saying much for the DPS, but the tank fucking rules, man. I knew I liked the tank. I was like, God, I like this tank. Why do I like this tank so much? I rest my fucking case. Come on. You can do it. I'm guaranteeing I'm losing one or two. Me and the tank, man. I'm going to be up the tank's butt, to be honest with you, on this fight. DPS better hope to know how to stack. Double keys, guys. We all know the rule here. We can't hit the switches. You can't hit the switches. Not that I do anyways, but, you know, if you want to keep it on, like, fire, just hit the switches. Which is a pain in the ass anyways, to be honest with you. I think it's more annoying to try to use the switches than it is to try to get the double keys, because the switches is a pain in the ass. Don't get out of your bag, man. Come on, everybody in. No, tank, get in. Hurry up. I don't want anybody locked out. All right. Dude, you're at the... I love it. He's like, if I die. Dude. This is what happens when DPS is only sitting at 12K. You deserve to die. Now, normally I would hit the war horn right there, but since I've got people under friggin' 20K, even under 18, I'm going to use the barrier. Kill the ad, lightning, back up, you retards. My old lady says I'm rude. I completely agree with her. Now guys, here's where the refreshing path does come in. play. You really want to try to keep that refreshing path up on the poison, so when people are behind you or in front of you, you can kind of keep them healed. Get the friggin' spheres. Oh, God. Uh-oh, that's not good. Dude, he got fried and fucking cuted. That was so funny. And when you get people behind, try to get in the middle just so you can see them, just to get it off. I don't know what to tell people. Man, those little dwarven things, spears will fucking hurt your ass. Somebody's falling behind. Uh-oh. This could be where people die. Oh, check it! Even on a split, Mystic will pull it off. Badass. I love my job. Let it be known. Do not come in here with 12K and expect to live. Especially 543. Who in the hell are you getting your advice off of? Ah, shit. See, this is what happens when you try to res one. Other people die. Yeah, we need some help back here. I'm resin and it's not doing good. Poison, that's pretty good. Actually, I'm pretty happy that poison happened now. Oh, yeah! Ooh. Back up a little bit, boys and girls. Dude. Oh, he just went flying in that thing's face. Oh. Days like that, I do not like being a melee DPS. Oh yeah. Here comes the poison. Make sure you guys keep the path up once again. And then, of course, I'm missing somebody. I don't know where he's at. I don't know. Tank is so awesome. This tank kicks ass. Hopefully they just finish it. That'd be the best idea. Finishers! Finishers! There it is, guys. If I can do it with a pug, so can you. So, anyways, guys, if you have any questions or comments, post below. I really think this shows not only the viability of the build, but the viability of my skill. But seriously, guys, the tank was awesome, dude. This tank was kick-ass. Elite was okay. That plate wearing dude, no, God. Anyways, I do want to thank everybody for watching. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. If you hate it, give me a thumbs down. It don't really matter. But I want to thank everybody for watching, and once again and always, have a nice day.